value for money equation. And of those three, experience was the biggest one. And an experience is a broad thing. It included service, it included ambience, it included, air conditioning. And there is an experience expectation from customers, and I think that's increasing. And that you have to, I think also it'll also become a game of where you're more unique. Okay. So eventually, if you look at the growth of the coffee business in India, from one cafe in 95, 98, look at where they are today. That's all about experience. I mean, I think it's more, they've created an experience for youngsters. That's how they built their business, and that's today a lot of the
created complimentary meeting rooms for
yes. No, but it works.
People actually say that it's cheaper to conduct a meeting at a CCD because I can get coffee for $75. If I go to a 5-star hotel, I'm going to pay $200 for the same meeting.
True.
So with the experience also, the experience also in CCDs, they're going a little further by saying that this is memories based. So you would remember your first date, you would remember your first XYZ. So hence that experience is more valuable. So they're creating every segment or every sector of a hotel, a restaurant rather, would create his or her own experience. Based on the demographics that he's situated in or the concept that he is into. So based on that, he would definitely, one has to work around what he is serving and what his customers expect from him. Like Dheeraj clearly said, that what he is giving is probably hygiene, good thing at his price point. So his locations are also right there.
You're saying something, sorry.
Customer expectation is such a challenge that whatever best you do for them, they will ask for something else. That's been always with all of us. We as the restaurateurs, we take the ownership of giving them hygiene, giving them an experience, giving them a total experience when they come to us. And when we talk to them and we say, but that's minimum. So it's a challenge to all of us in the trend that, as he said, innovate. In a QSR format, I'm in a business of providing a wet sandwich to a consumer wherein we expect him to come in quickly, eat quickly, leave quickly, and come back quickly to eat. So in that quickly, how many times do I really create an excitement for him, and how many times do I do the uniqueness, like in Vada Pav business or in my sandwiches business? I can do only innovation in my product. Yeah. So if I'm in a QSR business, I can't have the ambience, I can't have the flashy, jazzy things what maybe a memory company called, as you said, CCD offers. I'm not in that business, but that's the, again, challenge.
Actually, you have an opportunity here. You have an opportunity here. For example, I've seen your store where you actually display all the fillings. That's a part of the experience, and that's a part of maybe your co-guests who are hanging out are a part of the ambience. Maybe you don't have some rocking music or something.
We don't do that. We want to keep it really very simple for them.
First QSR in India, Nirulas, which I used to run recently. So I know in Nirulas, it opened a restaurant in Chanakya. Anyone who's been to Delhi would have opened Nirulas at Chanakya. And all they created was something which is more contemporary in 1981 in terms of ambience. It was the first QSR in the country. So it was unique in terms of hey, you got burgers, pizzas, and then ice creams and Indian food. But there are countless, unfortunately, that restaurant closed. And there was that plot got back to the government and sold. And what we did before we shut it was for a week, 10 days suddenly we said we're shutting. What we do? It's a flagship, it's a heritage part of the brand. So we did a 10-day thing where we sold the furniture. For kind of virtually rock pot. You would believe who people came with vans to pick up furniture because there were people who had dated there, there were people who had proposed there, there were people who had, they were that, and we created these big boards where people came and wrote, and Nirula still has them. And the stories that came out, and then it was covered like, instead of making a downer for shutting, we got like this major coverage in the media which we didn't plan for. Because there were journalists and people wrote, hey, Nirula Chanakya shutting, go there before it shuts because you can write and you can buy furniture. And take it home with you, take a light home, take this home, take that home. And it was this nostalgia, so you can actually create excitement, in a lot of different ways and create experience without really doing,
Something else.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of ways to do it, so you don't have to spend a lot of bucks to do it.
What happens in the QSR format, the challenge is the price point.
Absolutely, yeah.
We have to repeatedly deliver the same experience at the same price point.
But I think that's a challenge for everybody.
That's for all of us, at whichever price point.
Price point in absolute rupee terms is less or more, it doesn't matter. Dheeraj, you were saying something?
See, we just put up 4 stores in Bangalore, okay, and everyone gets bitten by this bug of we need AC stores. So I got a very wealthy franchisee there, and he said, so you have a 600 square feet seating for 20 people, air-conditioned store, beautiful looking stuff, selling a vada pav. And then we also put up another store which was on High Street, typical Bombay, good, it's a good looking store, but no air conditioning, just no riffraff, just take the product, go a good nice hot product. My store, which is the takeaway one, is doing twice the business of the AC one. And I was like, what's happening here? He said that no, people say that vada pav is something they eat on the go. When I'm in a hurry, I need to have. It's good, but it is not making financial, economic sense. So we just realized, there is a Pizza Hut doing a dine-in. There is a Domino's doing takeaway. There's a Little Caesars in the US doing only takeout pizza. All 3 are phenomenally successful doing with pizza consumption at 3 different occasions. So, we need to somewhere in India understand that every product has a use and stick to that use and replicate and, multiply that use. So I have no doubt that Jumbo King will put up 1,000 stores provided we stick to on-the-go snacking. The moment we try to put up AC stores, we might,
So this is a rare example of where a customer actually says that if air conditioning is too much, you downsize me in terms
the prices are the same at both the stores.
I don't think you guys know the brand called Khan Chacha. Famous brand in Delhi. Okay. He used a kiosk like this, probably smaller, I think. I'm working in the middle lane. Okay. I actually was 50 square feet. And he used to produce those delicious. You stand, the queue in the heat. And Delhi is not weather like, hot, cold, stand up, people queued. He got shut down or something. He went in to put up a fancy air-conditioned restaurant with 30 seats or 40 seats. And for what I believe he does the same. Less sale up there than he used to do at 1/20th because it was on the go, it was hanging out.
What is the product, sir?
Kati kebabs. And great product. Even now the product is great. The product is actually very good.
We have a more difficult task. As face value builders, the moment the guest eats, any questions that Harpal ji hai kya, Sanjeev ji hai kya khana bana rahe? The moment you say nahi hai, ja, फायदा क्या हुआ? तो खाना जितना भी अच्छा था, let's go on.
I feel measurement of customer satisfaction and expectation is what is the key. What I think we practice is collecting that kind of data and somebody to be on the job to actually perceive it and to implement it. Because the expectation is rapidly changing by the day. And we need to take account of that, need to take cognizance of that.
Sure.
So that's the key today of measuring satisfaction, expectation, and trying to live up to it as far as possible. It's not going to be possible.
You're right, and you have to do it online. You've got to do stuff like Facebook pages. You've got to do groups. You've got to
somehow collect data.
It's not going to get it right.
No, I don't know how much that really helps, because I know a lot of places they have got a lot of likes and a lot of customers and a lot of online happiness, but the restaurant is now non-existent. So does the page exist to remind people that yes, ek zamane mein tha?
You're so right. I mean, this is an example of strategy in terms of social media going so far that the reality in terms of brick and mortar is, I mean,
you have to match.
I think the restaurateur was so focused on trying to convince people to like him online that offline he forgot that they have to like him as well. So
well said.
You can't build an expectation or image for yourself which you can't live up to. Absolutely, that's a killer. But I think you have to be in touch, and this is changing. Today, so you got to talk to your customers. Whether it's actually in the restaurant, online, or whichever way works for your type of customer. And not everyone's online, and not everyone's on Facebook. You have to just stand in the aisles to go to restaurants and talk to customers. That's the best way to do it on the ground, actually.
I'd like to just stretch this into another area as well. Sure. Because we have a lot of other restaurateurs here, especially in the kiosk and smaller format. Finding good locations is a tremendous problem. I mean,
we are coming to the challenges now. Yeah. Before that, anyone wants to say anything about trends, or shall we move to challenges?
I just want to say what Samir and what he was saying about Facebook and this technology being deployed, measuring customer expectation. Facebook is, of course, a social media network which is available for all of us to use.
Which is not reliable.
Today, well, that's the question. That's a question which it's a debatable. It's more than us. That we should measure. It is customer who expect us to talk to them. And as he gave an example that the guy was so busy listening to the customers, he actually forgot the business. Actually, that's where we need to draw a line, wherein that job is a very important job that needs to be delivered to somebody in the office who really interacts. Yes, he has likes, he likes it. If somebody has dislike, we still respond to him and we still remain connected. Because today, sky's the limit for that. And for a QSR company like us, we want them to come 4 times a month, 5 times a month, 6 times a month. So might as well, you say you didn't frequency.
You're getting that, that's amazing frequency.
Yes,
Sir, you can't say we come only once and then.
No, of course, no, we are not in that business.
Average QSR visit by study is actually, so you're doing very well. Average QSR visit is once in 30 days across India.
My database shows that I have
only once in
coming
30
3
days.
times.
You're achieving 4 times a month.
How often do you have customers
We have
coming
at
in?
least twice because we are in a mall, so he comes to the mall at least to do something. Either he comes for a movie, comes for shopping, comes to buy his groceries. So he comes at least twice in a month. So the first to 7th would be his first visit, that is mad. And then somewhere in between he has come to the mall for a meeting. He has come to the mall for something else. So whatever that is, he has come to a gaming zone with his family. So at least those 2 visits are guaranteed, and that is why we are stuck to malls. We have not gone on high street because we failed miserably. But that frequency is needed for us to survive. 2 times is a must.
Okay, maybe move on to challenges now of the business, and I know Vikram has been saying it more than once, and I absolutely agree. Out of the 5, I told you I spoke to a couple of restaurateurs, and the 5 top ones that came about, though strangely in the non-metro cities they felt manpower was more of a challenge than real estate, but in metros, real estate is more, for example. But 5 of them still include the lot. And I'll read out those 5 to you and then we'll speak about them one by one. It's real estate, their availability and price, licensing and regulations in terms of acquisition, fairness and cost. And manpower, again acquisition, retention and training. In supply chain, in terms of raw materials, the issues in quality and cost and all of that, the way it's distributed, kitchen equipment, that's the 4th one. And the last one is infrastructure. This was more for non-metro cities in terms of electricity and things like that, but we can still discuss it. And under licensing, as we said, we'll discuss the...
I don't know how you're saying electricity, non-metro. I know Pune has an 8-hour power cut.
Beyond Bombay, you have
Delhi.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So that's even better. So if we may get started with real
12
estate,
hours a day.
since Vikram, you've been mentioning about that, if you could start with the real estate challenges.
I don't want to talk about it because I myself am perplexed by the problem. I'm hoping to get some insights.
We are all.
What I was coming to is that one is good restaurant space because of various licensing issues. See, the issue with restaurant getting good space is not only about I want a restaurant in so and so location.
Yes.
It's about after getting that, okay, I sign up that restaurant, will I be able to run a restaurant in that location?
Sure.
Will I get the required licensing? Will I get n number of things? Will the building on top, society members give me permission?
Sure.
There's so many complications that come with running a restaurant. People really don't realize how difficult it is. So especially when you're a high-end restaurant, you can spend a crore or whatever and either buy out the space, or you'll get in the high-end space actually in 1,500 square foot space more, I would say, space available. Might sound ironic, but it is, because on ground floor 1,500 space anybody will give you a large chunk. But getting 250, 300 in that range is even more challenging. So I just wanted to understand how one is able to source good locations and really identify and really get a license after that, because you need whenever I've seen location, they say, sir, इसमें back door नहीं है, sir वो नहीं है, sir ये नहीं है, कैसा होगा सब?
Your first is change of user.
Change of user is the biggest change. You're trying. So how does one really combat that? Because I think after you have a good concept, you have money, you've done 1 or 2 successful stores, you promise people I'm going to open 10 in 6 months. Now where does those balance aid come from?
I think most of us are experiencing similar challenges, but Samir, please.
I think it is the biggest challenge. When they say what are the 3 success factors? Location. So that's a well-known fact in the industry. I think you have to I still think it's a mix of science and art in terms of when you're choosing a location. So science is today you do, I think a lot of people do it, you do, analysis of your customers, the catchment area, footfall counts, traffic counts. Everyone has their own parameters based on what type of customer they want to get, what is the competition. what are, are there schools around, various parameters. So I think